machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, live fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, and the Foxes, Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Leicester Fan TV for another Foxes Focus show. Of course, it's Foxes Focus. It is Thursday. One more day until the weekend. The last Premier League games of the season this weekend, if anybody has been watching the Premier League this year. Aston Villa hitting the top four, which we couldn't do 2 years on the bounce. Arsenal bottling it, no change there. We'll see that again next year too. Tottenham as bad as ever, and more importantly, this evening actually, Leeds United in the playoff semi-final second leg. So let me know in the chat if you'll be watching that. But get your comments in, get your likes in, whatever. Today we are going to be talking about potential transfers at Leicester. What positions do Leicester need to focus on this summer transfer window to put us in the best possible stead for next season in the Premier League? We're going to be having to overturn a point deficit because of a point deduction from FFP. So yeah, let me know where you think on the pitch we should focus on in the transfer window, and we'll get right into it. So I can see some comments coming in already. Let me know that you're here. Put a comment in saying hello or yo or hi Locks or whatever you want to do. Tomahawk Eye is here. Hi to you, Tomahawk Eye, mate. Thanks for joining every week, as many people in the chat do. Mike Ruck is here. Hi Locks. Hi to you, Mike. Craig says, hi Locks, we need a forward, a number 9 and 10 and 2 centre backs. Interesting. Well, I can help with that today. I've got some names we can go through, so we'll see. Dara is here. Hi, Lux. Hi to you, Dara. Thanks for joining. Mike says, Unai Emery, Brendan, one is rubbish, one is not. Don't forget, though, that Unai Emery was very much a meme when he was Arsenal manager. Not a lot of people rated him, but he's done well. He's done well. Where did he go? He went to Valencia or Villarreal? Villarreal? I think it was Villarreal. And Villa took me. I think I'm lagging, guys, so apologies for that. Let me just try and sort that out as we go along. Dawn says, hi, Locks and all. Hope you are all well. Scott says, needs strength all over the pitch and bench, especially the spine of the team will need reinforcing. Yeah, we've got to talk about that. Scott says, needs strength all over the pitch and bench, especially the spine of the team. Oh, sorry, I've just read that one. Pacey defender needed, creative midfielder, centre forward, left back. Twosome Fox in the house, always proud to be a Leicester City fan. Let's go Foxes. Right, guys. So, Reedy, put your camera on a sec, mate. Is this competition still running, mate? I need to give me a sign, mate. Is that competition still running? If not, here is a competition. Just before we get into the chat, the transfer chat, I'm going to just play a quick video. You've seen it all before, and then we'll get straight into what transfers we would like to see Leicester sign this summer.
Reedy, it's competition time. We've teamed up with the guys at distillersdirect.com and we've got some fantastic prizes for you to win. Reedy, what have we got?
You've got this to win.
Wow, that, £50 to spend at the club shop, and what else?
And that.
A bottle of that? Well, you can get that thanks to the guys at distillersdirect.com. Reedy, what would you spend 50 quid down at the club shop on?
Well, maybe one of these shirts.
One of these? Okay, Reedy, now we've changed. That shows you can buy a retro shirt, you can buy this year's shirt, they're on special offer I think, or you can even save it and buy next year's shirt, or something like this from the Art of Football. Whatever it is you want to spend 50 quid down at the club shop, thanks to the guys at distillersdirect.com. Now you enter on the website, so click on the link and answer the simple question, and the simple question is, what player's name is on the back of this shirt? Me and Reedy can see it. I'll tell you what, probably give you a clue. Greatest of all time? Who would that be? Here you go. Enter now, and thanks again to Distillers Direct. Don't forget, use the promo code and save 10% off. That promo code, Reedy.
Yes, that one right there.
So there we go. Thanks for watching that great GCSE drama piece from Phil and Reedy. So let's get into it. I thought I'd just do a show today talking about what potential signings Leicester could make this summer. So, we've had the whole season in the Championship. It looks smooth sailing for most of the season. So I think a lot of people were already kind of looking one eye on the Premier League, wondering what we could do, because we know how strong our squad is, or how weak it is, however you want to look at it. There are areas of weakness. There are areas where we are really good. There's areas where we're not so good. So it'll be interesting to see what people think in the chat. So the first one I'm going to talk about is, let's go defensively. So we heard rumours this week from John Percy that Vestergaard is on the brink, or about to sign a new contract. So Yannick Vestergaard will be staying at Leicester City for at least another year, probably a 2-year contract, maybe 3 years, something like that. Obviously we have Wout Faes. So he's going to be still here. Whether he gets sold or not, I don't know, for FFP, whatever, we'll see. For me, personally, I think we need another centre-back. Let me know what you think. I know we have Connor Cody, we have Vestergaard, we have Faes, we have Ben Nelson, but we have seen frailties there this season. We have to admit it. And I think Vestergaard is far too slow. Oh, yeah, Andy Meadows has just said that as well. No, Vestergaard is far too slow. Well, unfortunately, Andy, it looks like it's happening. It looks like he is signing another contract, which does make me think, are we maybe looking at getting rid of Wout Faes? Let me know in the comments if you think we should get rid of Wout Faes. But who could we bring in? Well, there is one name that has been doing the rounds on social media, online, on transfer rumour websites, in the Leicester fan base. And it is a name that was linked to Leicester City in January, very loosely linked in January. There was nothing concrete there. But that was Gabriel Pereira, another Pereira. So Gabriel Pereira is basically a centre-back, Brazilian centre-back, playing in the Portuguese league for Gil Vicente, I believe it is. 24 years old. So obviously he's got plenty of years ahead of him. I don't think he is the quickest of players. I think he is a lot quicker than Yannick Vestergaard, but that isn't really saying anything. 30 appearances this season in the Portuguese league, 4 goals from centre-back, not too bad, and 8 clean sheets. Not one of the best 3 or 4 teams in the Portuguese league, which probably explains the lack of clean sheets. But he does look like a nice player, good on the ball, as you'd expect, being Brazilian. So that's not a big surprise, him being good on the ball, being Brazilian. But so we are linked with him again. I think it would be a good buy. As you can see, potential fee, that is just taking into account his current market value through different websites and stuff like that. Obviously, it could be more. That this price I've put down here is already kind of inflated as to what his apparent market value is. But 5 million quid, 24-year-old centre-back, not proven in the big leagues, in the Premier League. However, something exciting, something better on the ball maybe than other options out there. So it'll be interesting to see. Basically if that does materialize, and if he does come in, what type of player, how many games he plays for us, is he ahead of Faes, Vestergaard, etc. Don't have to be quick if you can read the game. Andy Meadow says absolutely. Rumor has it Harry Maguire out at Man U. Could you show up here? You never know. That is an interesting one. I have seen people say that he should come back to Leicester. We've given him a lot of stick over the years, but we can't deny he was a good player for us. You know, whatever happened afterwards at Manchester United, in Mykonos, people know what I'm talking about. At Leicester, he was a good player for us. He was a good centre-back. He suited our system much better back then. You know, he was playing in the high line at Man United, especially in the early days, and Harry Maguire in the high line doesn't end very well. I don't think Maguire would be a good option, really, personally, for us. So I think we should look elsewhere. Get some more comments in, guys. Let us know what you think to the centre-back position. Need a left centre-back over another centre-back in general. Need to bolster that position if we don't get Doyle and JJ don't work best there. Keep Wout fast. He's good, and he's good at driving the ball forward. I just think he's a bit of a maverick. He's a bit of a hothead. He's a bit, you know, I'm not saying get rid of him, by the way. I'm just kind of trying to list his cons. I think he's quite an arrogant player, and I think at times he's really embarrassed himself this season. I mean, I remember after the Norwich game, quite recently when we scored, he kind of went up to the fact, because basically, was it the Norwich game? Let me know if it was the Norwich game or if it was the Birmingham game, but where the fans were like kind of getting a bit sarcastic and groaning and then cheering when we got the ball into the box, etc. And I think Fast put a ball in, and anyway, he was involved in the goal and he kind of cupped his ears to the fans and whatever. And I just thought, you knobhead, like, you've not been good this season. You know, at times you've not been good. He's probably the one most likely to make a mistake at the back at times this season. And I just thought a bit arrogant, a bit uncalled for there. But it'll be interesting to see whether we do keep him, whether he is one of the players that we cash in on. Let me just look at some of the comments before we move up the pitch a little bit. Clear out all the dead wood. Everyone whose contract expires this summer, see you later, including Vardy, Matt, including Vardy. Andy says Man City will never sell Doyle. To think we were gifted 80 million for Maguire and still in financial trouble. Are there any players that Leicester could just poach from the teams that were just relegated? There's a couple. I like Sander Berger. At Sheffield United, personally. I know someone joked earlier and said, no, Sheffield United players. He's a midfielder. He's good. Who else is there? Was Sander Berger at Sheffield? I'm sure he was. I'm just second guessing myself now. Did he go to Burnley? He went to Burnley. Apologies. He was at Sheffield United, then he went to Burnley. But yeah, again, relegated Burnley, so he'd be a good one. Afternoon Locks, GPM Moore says, Matt Kilroy Finley says, including Vardy, wages too high unless he wants to sign a 1-year contract. Yeah. Adi Bayo from Luton, Ross Barkley from Luton. Would anyone take Ross Barkley? Well, talking to midfielders, the next one again is a linked player who's already been linked to Leicester City this season. And he was linked last summer, and it's actually the player that Craig Gilbert has just mentioned, Brownhill. Joshua Brownhill from Burnley, 28 years old, so not the youngest, but still, you know, in his prime at the minute. He can quite versatile, central, defensive, and attacking midfield. 32 appearances, 4 goals, 2 assists. You know, not the best of showings there, but I mean, it's a Burnley team that just got relegated. A very poor Burnley side as well. Potential fee there, 11 million quid. Probably a little bit less, really, with relegation as well. Burnley will want to make some money this summer so they can reinvest. So we could get him for cheaper than that. I think he's a good player. He's, like I said, he's versatile. You know, he could play in the advanced state role potentially. Maybe he sits there in a double pivot with Winks. I know that there's been talk about this summer already about what changes Enzo might make to the system, to the formation next season. Can we really play with Winks as that sole defensive midfielder with Ricardo Pereira obviously coming in? I'm not sure. Brownhill would be a good option. Obviously, again, you know, he can play all over really in midfield. So it'll be interesting to see if that's a player Leicester look at again this season. A little honourable mention, if you like, James McAtee didn't tear up trees at Sheffield United this season. And some will say, don't bother with him because he turned us down last summer. He was at Seagrave and Sheffield United, who he was at the year before, came in for him and he went there instead. He's probably an ambitious player, which is why he went to Sheffield United in the Premier League. A lot of players being in Seagrave would look around and go, "Oh my God, fucking hell. No, I'm signing here." You know what I mean? But he didn't. So he went to Sheffield United. So that's another player that we might be linked with from midfield. Let's get some comments in from people regarding the midfield situation. Are we keeping Vardy? We'll get onto that. I think we will. Nicholas says, "No, I don't rate him. Rather take Barkley. Sumari to play in DD role as a number 8, Scott." Well, we've got another option for that advanced 8 role. A bit of a one that's been spoken about recently. Josh Brownhill, no thanks, Ivan Gibbs says. McAtee can stay at Sheffield United. Well, he's going back to Man City because he hasn't signed permanently at Sheffield United, just on loan. Talking of that advanced 8 role, this is the player that I've brought in to talk about. It's a player that's been linked to Leicester over the last few days. Whether there's any concrete movement to that, I don't know. Whether it's just because he scored 2 goals against us on the last day. But Sammy Smodics, I think, would... Look, I've been quite vocal in our group chats and stuff recently, saying I don't think we should sign Sammy Smodics. However, I do think he would suit our advanced 8 role. So, obviously, we all know of Smodics. A lot of people know of him from the Championship this season, scoring 27 goals. 27 goals, a lot of goals, 4 assists as well. He isn't a striker. It's a little bit of a misconception people seem to have. I don't blame them, but 27 goals, 4 assists. He isn't an out-and-out striker. He is more of an attacking midfielder. He was playing behind the striker this season. I've put down here a potential fee of 15 million quid. It might be a bit steep. I think that is too much for a 28-year-old who, by the way, no offense to the lad, because he is a good player, but maybe I'm being harsh by calling him a one-season wonder. But I mean, if you look at his previous years, he is a one-season wonder. This season was unexpected in terms of goals and assists. He didn't come. He basically came out of nowhere with it. It's a ridiculous feat to have that many goals. I don't know what happened there, so apologies. He single-handedly kept Blackburn in the Championship, and I think it's the profile of player I'm not overly keen on in terms of the age. We have our scouting and recruitment kind of the way we look at it. The way we looked at it prior to the previous 2 years was that we were signing gems or young talents to come in and make a big profit on, whilst also bringing us success in the meanwhile. We went away from that under Brendan Rodgers in the later stages with Vestergaard and Ryan Bertrand. And I think this summer or last summer was a bit of an outlier in terms of yes, we brought in young players like Fatawu and Hermanson. However, it was an outlier in terms of we had to build a championship winning squad. I think we will go back to our old recruitment style this summer, which is why I don't think Sammy Smodics will be bought, if I'm honest. But it is one that's been spoken about quite a lot, which is why I wanted to bring it up tonight. But yeah, in that advanced 8 role, I think he'd do okay, but I don't think he's a Premier League quality player, if I'm honest. Keep getting your comments in. Let us know what you think to Sammy Smodics in the chat. Smodics is a one-season wonder, not worth 15 million quid. If we were getting Smodics and no more than 10, what about Ross Barkley? Yeah, we mentioned that. Ross Barkley would be a good shout. Not the youngest, though, is he? Let's be honest, not the youngest. Didn't think we had lots of money to buy. I think we've got the money to buy GPM. We've got the money. We just didn't have the financial fair play leeway. But if we sell, which we will sell 1 or 2, and we'll obviously lose high earners on free contracts, then we should be okay to make some signings. Bring Cags back. Plenty of Prem experience. He knows where the back of the net is. Sammy Smodics does. Yeah, I know. Keith Cross Bartley would be more of a Winks rotation player. Would he? I don't know. I don't think Winks would be in that role. I think Winks would be played in the 8 role, if I'm honest, in the advanced 8. Sorry, I think Barkley would play in the advanced 8 role. I don't think he would play in Winks' role at all. Illis Chair is it's a shout that I was calling for last summer and in January. One of the best technically gifted players in the Championship. I do stand by that, but he is, again, probably not a Premier League player. I think he... What's up, Dawn? I think he would... I don't think he would be good enough for the Premier League. I really don't. I mean, he's got something going on in the background of his life as well. He has a court case or a legal battle because he trying to put it as blunt as possible. Well, I mean, you can't really cover this very well, but he caved someone's head in with a rock in France or Netherlands or something like that. So he's got that going on. Crazy. But I think it's probably a signing that a relegated Premier League team or a team fighting for promotion would go for. I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. I called for him all season. I think he would have made a real impact for us this year. However, I just don't think he's the right fit for Leicester going into the Premier League. O'Hara from Coventry, again, another one. Is he going to be good enough in the Premier League? People think he's young, but he's not really that young. I think he's like 25 or something, 26. He's probably in his best years now or over the next couple of seasons. It's another option. If it's cheap, it is free actually. So yeah, maybe we could look at him. But yeah, snap Liverpool's hands off for Carvalho, who was out on loan at Hull this season. Yeah, it's not a bad shout. The fast winger at Plymouth that scored all their goals, Whittaker, cover for Mavididi. I think Whittaker more plays off the right-hand side, to be fair, with his left foot. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong there. But yeah, are we selling KDH? We don't know. Right, next one to talk about is a rogue one. Again, it was a player we were linked with last summer. So this was the guy we were meant to be bringing in if Patson Daka's deal to Bournemouth went ahead. And his name is Georges Mikau Tadze. Yeah, that. If anybody speaks, I don't know where he's from. If anybody speaks wherever he's from, try and pronounce it for me. He is a 23-year-old centre forward. He is on loan at FC Metz from Ajax. We were linked with him. He's quite a physical striker. He knows where the back of the net is. I mean, this season he's played 19 games for FC Metz, and someone's Mika Tatse. Have I spelled his name wrong? I don't think I spelled his name wrong, Reedy. I think I spelled that right. Yeah, I spelled it right. You spelled it wrong, Reedy. But yeah, he's a 23-year-old centre forward, 19 games this season for FC Metz, 13 goals, 4 assists, potential fee of 10 million squid. So I don't think strikers are a priority. However, one thing you need to remember this season or this summer is that Kelechi Iheanacho is leaving the football club. It's not confirmed, but we all know it is after his T-shirt and all that. He's definitely leaving. Patson Daka might be going. Jamie Vardy is probably going to stay. So at the minute, the definites, I think, are Vardy and Cannon. Daka, we're not 100% sure. So do we need another centre forward? I don't think it's a priority. However, it's a shout. He is a shout. He was from Metz before going to Ajax to go back on loan to Metz. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Somebody said here, Meek Utatse. Thank you, Reedy. I take the best of the Championship rather than players from the teams being relegated. I wouldn't personally do that. Sorry, I would take the best ones. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Toxic Doggy says, wouldn't pay 10 million for a striker not prem proven with our situation. Well, I hear what you're saying, but 10 million quid really in football, let's be honest, these days isn't a lot of money. Even Slimani costs more than that. Iheanacho costs more than that. Daka costs more than that. 10 million quid really is you could say risk free, maybe. He's got a higher ceiling than I would say Daka and Iheanacho has. He is, you know, I hear what you're saying. But I mean, if we just go with the Premier League fodder, let's call it Premier League fodder for a striker, I think we need to take a risk again. I know it didn't work for Daka. I know it didn't work for others. But we have got a lot right in the past. Wesley Fofana, James Maddison, Ricardo Pereira, a lot of these players, Abdul Fatawu. The scouting department seems in a bit of a better position than they were this time last year or this time 2 years ago. So yeah. Reedy says he'd love Akpom at Ajax. Also, Akpom's got a lot of goals in the Championship. He is 28 years old. You know, he's probably in his prime now, if not on the decline. Yeah, probably in his prime now. 24 games this season, 11 goals. Scott says, "What's the latest with Nathan Opoku?" We were sold a dream with that one, Scott, mate. He broke his leg or did his ACL a couple of days last week or something. He'll never play for Leicester City. Nathan Opoku, never. Will we get in Stefani Sensi potentially? I mean, would you go for him again? I don't think we would. I mean, 2 weeks after his deal to Leicester fell through, he went for a surgery to get a plate taken out or put into his leg. I mean, yeah. Or is it over for him? Yeah, I think it's going to be done. I don't think we're going to sign him. Tammy would be amazing, but even Calvert-Lewin, if we just want... Whew. Do you think we could sign Calvert-Lewin and Tammy Abraham? I can't see it. Tammy Abraham's going to be 20 mil at least. Calvert-Lewin, by the way, I'm not saying they're worth it. This is how much they're going to cost, I think. You know, there are a lot of money now, certain strikers, especially when they're English, by the way. Both of them are English, Tammy Abraham and Calvert-Lewin. So I don't think they will, although Everton might be under pressure to sell, you know, fair dues, but I just can't see us going for that type of striker. If we don't get Tammy, I would go for Calvert-Lewin. I really can't see it, mate. Fair enough. I really can't see it personally. I just don't think that's the type of striker we'll be going for. But I get it. He's proven. He's prem proven. Although all I would say is Dominic Calvert-Lewin seemed to spend more time in Vogue magazine and fashion magazines than he does on the pitch. Personally, that's just my kind of perception of it. So Tammy Abraham, again, yeah, he would be a good signing, but I just can't see him going from Roma in the Champions League or Europa League, whatever, to join Leicester, who are going to be fighting against relegation next season. I really can't see it. Is Tammy Abraham out of contract or not? Someone in the chat, let me know. I was just going to see it. No, expires in 2 years, so he's not going to come to Leicester. He's not going to come to Leicester. Absolutely no chance of that. I would write that one off straight away. We've been linked with Eddie and Nketiah as well. Don't forget. We have been linked with Eddie and Nketiah at times. Again, another one I can't see happening. Do we think we may go in for Jonathan Bruins? Is he the one who is he Erling Haaland's cousin? Am I making that up? I'm just double checking this. I think he is, right? He is. Yeah, he is. He's Haaland's cousin. Sorry, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about him, mate, if I'm honest with you. So I can't really comment whether he'd be a good signing. Lukaku basically replaced Abraham. Yeah, but still, Kunal, I mean, even if he wants to leave Roma, do you really think he's going to come to Leicester? I think you will get a mid-table team, a mid-table Premier League team or higher that would go in for Tammy Abraham. Personally, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. I'm wrong on a lot of things. But personally, I can't see it. Let's have a look. Jonno has clicked the link. Jonno, I'm going to bring you in, mate, but I am about to end, so I'm only going to ask you a couple of questions and we're going to shoot. Newcastle also interested in Tammy. Maybe a replacement for Isaac, Alexander Isak, sorry. He might be on his way to Manchester United or where else did Arsenal, sorry, this summer. So maybe Newcastle go for Tammy Abraham as a replacement. Right. Hello, Jonno, mate. How you doing?
Good, thanks yourself.
I don't know how much of the show you've seen. We've been talking about signings. What position do you think should be number one target, the priority?
I think there's two. I think striker,
Right.
and centre back.
Okay. Any names for me? I mean, people have been a little bit optimistic in the chat, giving me the likes of Calvert-Lewin and Tammy Abraham. I know they're not, let's say 5 years ago, we would have said no to Tammy Abraham. We would have said no to Calvert-Lewin. We would have said, yeah, we'll have Vardy instead, thanks. But right now, I think they are probably a little bit too, I want to say too good for us at the minute, mate. We need to remember, by the way, although wherever we were 2 years ago before we got relegated, we were, basically the sixth best team in England or the fifth best team in England for a couple of years. I think we need to remind ourselves we are going to be fighting relegation. Do you think Tammy Abraham and Calvert-Lewin would come to Leicester?
No, I think Leicester need to prioritise staying up. I think we've just come in a massive financial problem where we're going to be punished probably by a 10 to 6 point deduction before we even start. So I think someone put in the chat loans. I think loan as many players as we possibly can just to fill out the positions we need until the end of the season. And then maybe next season buy players. But I'll probably loan, if we get any players, probably loan. We can't afford to splash out 20 million per pot because we did that already and brought us into that mess.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of the names quickly, Jonno, that I spoke about were, let's get your opinion first on this one. Obviously, this has been doing the rounds recently. Sammy Samodics. I mean, I've said in the group chat and I've said on here tonight, I don't think it's the type of player Leicester should look at. Do you think we should, or would you stay clear?
The way that Enzo plays, no. I don't think we should. I think he wouldn't suit the way we play. He's a very good player, but he wouldn't suit the way that we play. I think he'll be nabbed by a standard Premier League club. I can see Bournemouth. I can see Brighton. I can see him going to one of those clubs, but he wouldn't come. He doesn't suit us. There's no.
Toxic Doggy coming with all, no offense, Toxic Doggy, mate. I see what you're trying to do, mate. But like Tammy Abraham, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Martial are three of the craziest names I think you could have come at me with tonight. No chance on earth. I think the Martial one is even worse. The wages he would demand, the lack of form, the lack, just no, thank you. Absolutely no, thank you. You mentioned centre backs, Jonno. Do you think we should sell? Obviously, we're going to need to sell someone this summer. It appears, whether that's Dewsbury Hall, whether it's a centre back, maybe. It looks like Vestergaard signing a contract. Would you look at making some money, or getting fast out the door if a bid or if there's interest there? Would you get rid? Because I personally think I would.
The reason I'm saying no is because he's got Prem experience. He knows what it's like to be in the Prem. So does Vestergaard, but we like the way Enzo plays. He likes that defender role to also push through midfield. And I think with the way Enzo plays, I'd like to keep him. If it means sell him, yes, but I can't see us going to play of that quality for low money.
Yeah,
unless you can think of anyone that slow price is quality. I can't think of any.
No, not really, mate. If I'm honest with you, not really. Somebody said absolutely no one associated to Spurs, all bottlers and have no. I mean, Harry Winks, but come on, mate. We signed Harry Winks.
Well,
they can come to us. Spurs players can come to us for trophies because they don't get them at Spurs.
Well,
what were you say, Jonno?
Spurs celebrated losing to Man City, so that shows the ambition of the club wanting to lose, to let the team not lose. If your ambition as a club is to not let the teams win, then you'd be that. But I want a club that, I like to support my club that actually wants to win trophies.
Yeah, it's baffling, that whole situation, mate. I think if it was like one-off game where Spurs weren't fighting for anything, if they were 10th, I'd understand it. But like
But they're fighting for
they still
Champions
had
League football.
yeah, they were. I mean, they were never going to get it because Villa would have won the last game.
But the ambition,
Palace, so you never know.
ambition from the players, it's just I don't know. The fans are just baffling. Spurs are a bigger club, but they don't act like it.
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think they're a big club. I'm being honest with you. I honestly don't think they're a bigger club.
Like,
a big club. I think they're. I think
we've
there's
been
a
in
lot
the
of clubs.
Championship.
Newcastle, bigger club.
We've been in the Championship and still won more trophies than the Spurs in the last 10. We've won 2 major trophies in 10 years, and they've won none.
Well, yeah,
that's
we
what
won.
I'm saying.
I mean, we won.
No, we won 2 major trophies. I'm counting the big boy trophies.
No, I know. Yeah. I mean, even if we say like, we've won the Championship, even if we include these ones, Championship twice, Premier League, FA Cup, Charity Shield, and don't forget 2 European quarterfinals as well. Last one, actually, Jonno, just before we finish, mate. Someone has mentioned a player which I am in love with. I love this player. I love watching him, and I think he would be quality at Leicester. I don't know if you've seen much of him this season. He will be playing tonight. It is Gabriel Sara. I think personally one of the best players in the Championship, like midfielder, attacking midfielder, Brazilian. Although it doesn't work out with Tete, but still. He plays for Norwich, mate. Yeah, Norwich. Gabriel Sara. If you haven't seen much of him, then no worries. But if you are watching the playoff semi-final tonight between Leeds and Norwich, keep your eye on him because I think he's a great player, mate. And I think we do need to sign another number 8 or a player to go in that advanced 8 role, don't we? It is quite important because at the minute it's McAteer as backup. And if indeed he goes, it's Dewsbury Hall and McAteer that we have there. And if Dewsbury Hall goes, which is a real possibility,
well, he said his ambition to stay at Leicester.
Hold on, Jonno. One sec, sorry, mate. One sec. Toxic Doggy, how are you going to come at me saying it's going to cost too much to get Sara when you've been talking about Tammy Abraham and bloody Calvert-Lewin? That's going to cost more. Yeah, what were you saying, Jonno?
Dewsbury Hall stated that he wants to stay at Leicester. His focus is on staying at Leicester. Like, the club obviously might want to sell him for money, but
that's what I'm saying.
I think he wants to stay at Leicester for another. I think he's good enough to play Premier League football every year, but I think he wants to see Leicester through this year. I think we could get relegated again, but
yeah, there's a chance we do get relegated. I'm not saying he wants to go, but I'm saying I think the club will. I mean, people over a certain age will know the story. Well, people my age, because I know the story. You might know the story. Matt Piper. He wanted to stay at Leicester, and he loved Leicester, but the club made him go. The club needed money. They were in a bit of a financial, shit situation, and basically they said, sorry, Matt, you're going to have to go," and he went to Sunderland. So it could be a similar situation this season with Dewsbury Hall. All right, Jonno, mate. Did you say you are watching the Leeds game tonight?
I'm watching both. I like both on. I want Southampton out of the 4. I'd like Southampton to come up.
They're not both on tonight, are they?
Yeah.
No, tomorrow. Southampton, West Brom tomorrow, mate.
Oh yeah. I'll be definitely watching the Norwich and Leeds game. I would love Norwich to destroy Leeds, but Leeds are at home, so that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, you never know. It could be. I think we're going to look like idiots, personally, Jonno, mate. After all the shit we gave Leeds last week and the week before, if they get promoted, they're going to be on more points than us next season. They will. So
yeah,
we could look a bit silly. But yeah, all right, mate. Thanks for jumping on, Jonno. Much appreciated. We'll see you soon, mate. All right.
See you later, man.
Cheers, fella. Let me know in the comments. We can't get a Leicester City score prediction, so give me a Leeds United Norwich City score prediction. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to bring that comment up. Scott says, love Norwich to win tonight. I know he hasn't had a great season, but what about Gustavo Hamer? He'll be looking for. I think that's a good shout. Scarlett, I think that's a good shout. Maddison, perfect for Spurs, lays down the tools for us and did it against Man City. Don't let him anywhere near England. Norwich to win on penalties. Norwich 2-0. Norwich to win on penalties. Craig Gilbert says Norwich. I love how many people are going for Norwich wins. I think Leeds will win comfortably tonight, if I'm honest. I think it will be 3-1. But this would be nice. I predict a crumble. Norwich 1-0. I do think Leeds will win. Kickoff's 50 minutes away. 5-0. 50 minutes away. Not long at all. I'm sure we'll all be watching the playoffs, man. You know, it's just, I'm so glad that I can watch the playoffs and enjoy them. Although the last two were terrible, 0-0s, Southampton, West Brom, Leeds, Norwich, 0-0s in the first leg. But you never know. Alex Ryder, the spy, Alex Ryder, up the Leeds. He's a Leeds fan. Good luck to you, Alex, mate. My good friend Joe Wayman is a Leeds fan. I'm a bit split down the middle. I can't decide whether I want them to win or not, because it would be funny to continue the Leeds are falling apart kind of mentality, I suppose, and jokes and banter if they did lose. But my good friend Joe Wayman, the Just Joe Football Show, we've been together in the same league for the last 4 years. So it'd be good to do content with him again next year. Leeds are a big club. We all know Leeds are a big club. They just love a crumble and they love a bottle. But we'll see what happens. I think they'll win. I think they'll win 3-1 or 3-0 tonight. Toxic Doggy reckons think the game goes to extra time. Alex says, take care. Take care to you, Alex. Good luck, mate. Much appreciated. Thanks for joining. Scarlett says, West Brom to get promoted and Vardy to do his thing against them next season. Good shout. Good shout. There is 162 people watching. No excuses. If you can pay your rent, pay your rent. And how do you pay your rent? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. That'll be much appreciated. Jamie from the Fox's Arms will be back this Sunday at 9:10. I always forget. To do his show, the famous Aftermath show. Phil will be here on Monday, I'm sure. And then, yeah, I'll be back next Thursday. We'll be talking about more things, whatever. We'll see what comes up. We might have some transfer rumors, transfer news, stuff like that by then. So, yeah, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Get through Friday, one more day, and then have a lovely weekend. Again, thanks to everyone who's watched, who's left a comment, and who's liked. And if you haven't liked, hit the like button now. Thanks all. Much appreciated. See you soon. Come on, you Canaries. Come on, you Canaries.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit leicesterfantv.com for all the latest news, views and videos.